Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and this is our Underdog Show. We're going to be talking about the NBA slate on January 30th, Tuesday. We've got 5 games, and we have a full 5-man slip for you. Before we get into these plays, though, if you've never tried Underdog, use our promo code BACKDOOR, and they will match your first deposit up to $100 and give you an instant pick'em special. Just make sure you put that code in when you are doing your first deposit and signing up, and they will hook you up with that deal. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. These plays move on us pretty fast, especially during the day. So if you want to jump on that value early, make sure your notifications are on so you can quickly see what we're getting into and decide whether or not you want to take any of these plays. And if you guys don't mind, just do us a favor and like the video. The best way to support the channel, it just helps us get further into the algorithm and get in front of a larger audience. And we really appreciate it. You guys have been helping us grow at a tremendous rate, and it's been awesome. So we look forward to continuing to build this community with your help. So yeah, if you guys don't mind just liking the video, that would be awesome. All right, so here are the plays we're going to be getting into. I'm going to cover 3 of them, and Jordan's going to cover 2. But we built this slip out together. So we're going to be covering Pascal Siakam over 3.5 assists, John Collins over 19.5 points and rebounds, and Jonathan Kuminga over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And then what else are we getting into, Jordy?
Yeah, we're covering. I'll be covering the Dante DiVincenzo under 28 PRA and Coby White under 35.5 PRA.
All right, so we got a nice balance of overs and unders here. Cool. So real quick, we're going to do a recap. Actually, Jordy's going to cover the recap from our slip from yesterday.
Yeah. So we took Mason Plumlee to go under 16.5 PRA. This one hit perfectly. He went for 10. We also took Julian Champagnie for over 10.5 PRA. He missed. He had 5. It was just a tough game for him. He just didn't shoot a lot either. He only shot 2 shots.
Yeah, 2 shots. It's like, bummer.
He had a decent game. He had 2 blocks and a steal, and he was getting active. He had 20 minutes, so it's just like he just needed to shoot more. Paul George, we took this one for over 2.5 3-pointers made, and when I had shared the video in our Discord, I put a gif of him shooting bricks, and that's literally what he did last night. So I don't know if I jinxed him or what, but I felt good about that one. But 2.5 is so low for how many threes he jacks up. But yeah, he had an awful night. He went 0 of 6 from 3. We also took Max Strus for over 3.5 rebounds. This is a great find by Russo. He went for 7, so we hit on that one. And then we also took Reggie Jackson for over 1.5 rebounds. Another great find by Russo. He went for 2, so hit on those ones.
That's usually what Reggie does too. It's like he's gonna give you those 2. It's funny that he doesn't really get over 2 that often.
Yeah.
But if it keeps them giving it to us at 1.5, like, I'll take it. But yeah. All right, so before we get into these breakdowns, we want to tell you about Chalkboard, another platform that we have partnered up with. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like Underdog in the sense that you can place entries as low as $1. But what we like about Chalkboard is they let you set your own lines, and it really gets to be a lot of fun. Like, the more we play, the more we're loving it. You can just fine tune the lines. And my favorite part about it is when I see a line that's set way too low, I'll bump it up, like 2 or 3 points higher. And they'll give you a larger multiplier. So if you lower the line, you get a lower multiplier. If you raise the line, you get a higher multiplier. So you can stack up slips pretty quick to have, like, you can get up to like 100x on like a 5-man, which is a lot of fun. But it is like Sleeper in the sense that you have to hit every play to cash your slip. So a little bit more difficult, but the freedom they give you to adjust lines is awesome. And I want to let you guys know it's iOS only at the moment. So they told us they're finishing up the Android version now. That's going to be next to come. And then they have a desktop version they're working on as well. If you want to check out Chalkboard, there's a link in the description of the video. Just use code BACKDOOR, one word, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. All right, so let's get into these plays. Going to be starting with Pascal Siakam. I don't know why this is still on the board. We took this in our first look show for Prize Picks last night, and it was juiced to go under for some reason, and we didn't know why. So we were stoked to grab it. Now it's juiced to go over, but I don't think anything's changed. We have a 245 over under with Boston favored by 7. So tough matchup, but I'll show you why we're so stoked about this play. But we love getting into games like pretty much every time the Pacers are playing. There's going to be a high over under, which is just like really great for DFS because you're going to have a lot of activity, points, rebounds, assists. All of that is going to be elevated when you have a high over under like that. Don't really need to be too concerned about a blowout, but we're hoping that Tyrese Haliburton does play because that will help. This could get ugly if he doesn't, so keep that in mind. But Siakam's going to have to be a big part of it either way, you know. I think it'll be closer now that they've got him, but I like him to go for 3.5 assists before anything gets too crazy. So we're over here on Outlier, which is a statistical app that we love to use. Believe me when I say it's the best in the business. Like nothing compares to Outlier when it comes to statistical analysis. They cover everything that from injuries to matchups to like, you can really fine tune it. And you can also connect your prop platforms straight to Outlier. And when you see something you like, you can just like throw it right into a slip. It's just we could go on and on about them. But anyways, if you want to check it out, we're partnered up with them. You can get a 7-day free trial just to see how you like it. There's a link in the description of the video. All right, so let's get into this play. So Siakam has gone over this. It's just way too low. 3.5 is way too low. 7 out of his last 10. And then look at what he's done on the year. 33 out of his last 45. It's just, no matter which team, you know, like this just translated seamlessly over to the Pacers, just always getting at least above 3.5. It's just way too low in my opinion, but you know, nothing's ever a lock. So go with your gut. You know, these plays are not mandatory. You guys have to decide for yourself what you want to take. If we take a look at the power forward position, it's somewhat middle of the road. Boston is 10th in assists allowed. So, you know, somewhat difficult, but I think he's gonna get this done. I'm gonna be playing this in so many slips. If we hop over to Daily Grind, this is the second best play they have for him on the board. Like we said, it's juiced to go over now. 52.99% odds to hit and a -132 on the Daily Grind odds. And then we've got -1. I mean, Caesars has a -127. Other than that, it's a -130 or higher. Bet MGM all the way up at a -135. So I think it's just hilarious that these were all juiced under yesterday. It's probably, maybe there just wasn't a lot of bets on it yet. And then as the public started to jump on it, they started to juice it more. So yeah, we're liking this. And by the way, this is Daily Grind. If you want to try this DFS optimizer, it's an awesome tool. It really does just most of the work for you. It helps you find plays and confirm plays. We use it every single day. So if you want to check that out, use code BACKDOOR and they'll give you 25% off your first month for any of their tools. All right, moving on to the next play. Whoops, not Prize Picks. Okay. John Collins. So this is the same game. So we already know this has no, it's not the same game. What am I doing? I get those two confused. 229 over under, Knicks favored by 4. We obviously still have no Julius Randle. It's going to help Collins in this case, at least on the rebounding end of things. We like his points and rebounds. We were going to take his PRA, but Underdog removed it. If it comes back by the time you're watching this video and you want to take the PRA, go for it. But we like the PR. The PRA was just 1 point higher, so we were just going to take that just for the extra insurance. But most of his work is going to be done in points and rebounds. He's gone over this 7 out of his last 10 games. The matchup, they are to power forwards, 11th in points allowed and number 1 in rebounds allowed. So tough matchup for rebounds, the power forward position, but he's been playing the 5 as well. So a little bit easier on the rebounds at the 5, but they are difficult as far as points allowed. We got 5th in points allowed, 10th in rebounds allowed. But I like him to get this done. This is just a play we can't stray away from. He's just been so consistent in this category. And even in his last game, he went for 22 on just 21.3 minutes. But we're hoping that he's up here in the 32, 31 range again. We'd like him to be closer to that 30-minute mark. So yeah, let's hop over to Daily Grind. All right, points, rebounds. They do have this juice to go over just slightly. It's almost a 50-50 shot on this one. We got a 50.81% odds to hit, and they have it at a -121. And then we've got a little bit of mixed emotions over here. FanDuel's kind of a 50-50. So is BetMGM. And then we've got DraftKings and Caesars closer to that -120 range. So again, like always, go with your gut, decide if you like it or not and whether or not you want to take it. All right, so Jonathan Kuminga, we have a 235.5 over under. Warriors favored by 3.5. But Kuminga is just someone who we are like screaming to get more minutes. And he's been getting his minutes lately, and we've been seeing the difference here. He's gone over this 6 out of his last 10 games, and he's just been on a streak lately. And we like this matchup. We have, let's see, Philly. Actually, let's take a look. Injury report real quick. Embiid game time decision, Maxey game time decision. No updated notes on that. So yeah, but I mean, I like this play regardless of if they play or not. If they don't play, he probably just gets more minutes. But yeah, 6 out of his last 10 games. And his minutes have been closer to that 30-minute mark, which is what we're looking for. Only 2.1 fouls a game, so you don't have to worry about foul trouble. But this guy's just a grinder, and it's about time he's been getting the minutes he deserves, I think. And he's been producing with those minutes, so we're feeling good about this play. I believe this one is favored to go under, so go with your gut. Daily Grind has this at a 51.7% odds to hit the under at a -122. But then like BetMGM, DraftKings, they all have this at 50-50. No one's heavily juicing this to go to the under. So yeah, just decide whether or not you want to take that. And then do you want to just start breaking down your plays, Jordy, and I'll look for a pivot?
Yeah, man.
Cool.
So to get into the other two plays, yeah, that's super unfortunate about Pascal. We did get it into our Discord pretty early though, so hopefully some of you guys got it to take advantage of that. But anyway, let's move on to this Dante DiVincenzo PRA. I like this to go under. Out of 20 games, he's only gone over this line 2 times. So it's kind of a silly line. Yeah, he had a great game last game, but that was against Charlotte. I mean, that's not saying much. This is a very tough matchup, though, against Toronto. I like this matchup a lot because if you look at the head-to-head here, they're playing Utah. I got ahead of myself there. But this is a great matchup for him to go under here. Utah is very tough against shooting guards. 8th in points, 8th in rebounds, 9th in assists. So going to be a tough night for him. If you look at the head-to-head, he did go over this last time they played. That was in December, but he only went over it by 1 point. So I don't know. I just like the line is set pretty high at 28 for his whole PRA. And he's had some pretty rough shooting nights here. And the last night game was his best game in a long time. So I like him to stay under here. If you look at Daily Grind, this one is juiced to go over just a little bit. So, don't take it if you're not comfortable with it, but I feel pretty good about it. It's only juiced by like 1%. It's a 51.32% to go over, a -123, but the odds are not favoring the over. So the consensus is like everyone else is taking the under. They just have it likely to hit because of the way he probably played in the last game. But it's just a super tough matchup, and I just like him to stay under this one. Injury report, there is no Julius Randle, obviously, so keep that in mind. So he could have an uptick in production. He did play 41 minutes in the last game, but he was on fire. So, I think he'll start, and I think he'll play a lot of the game. But I just don't know if he'll be able to replicate what he did last night. So, taking a chance on this one. And then with Coby White, we're taking his under on his PRA also. This is a pretty good one. So if you look at the last 10 games, he's only gone over this in 4 of the last 10 games, or 5 of the last 10 games. 4. So he's gone under this 6 out of 10 times. So I feel good for him to go into this again tonight against Toronto. Pretty tough matchup. If you look at the head-to-head, he hasn't gone over this line a single time against Toronto. He got really close on the 18th of this month, but he just missed it by 0.5. But it's a tough matchup. Points allowed, they're 2nd. Rebounds allowed, they're 17th. Assists is a pretty good matchup for him. They're 24th, giving up 9. But he's not really a guy who he does get a lot of assists, but it's like if he's scoring the ball, he's not really going to be focusing on that as much. But sometimes he just has these like super rough games, and against Toronto more often than not. So over the last couple months when he's been getting a ton of minutes now, I mean, he played 40, 33, and 35 minutes in these last 3 games, and he missed it in all of those. So I like him to stay under here. If you look at daily grind, the PRA is juiced to go under at a 51.17% chance. So I like these plays. If you guys don't like them, you don't have to take them, but I feel good about these ones. So, and also I think, let's see here. I thought Zach LaVine was coming back, but he's not back yet. So just keep those injuries in mind. No LaVine, no Torrey Craig, no Patrick Williams. So obviously he's going to get an uptick in like minutes and usage, but I still like it to go under. So those are the other 2, and I'll send it back to Russo for the pivot.
Cool. So yeah, I'm feeling just pivoting over to Siakam's rebounds and assists. Let me just check. Yeah, the assists are still not back. So the rebounds and assists are not bad, just set at 10. If we hop back over to Outlier, we saw like with his assists, I was saying the consistency, he's gone over this 33 out of his last 45. Well, if you go over to his rebounds and assists, it's just 32 out of his last 45. But he's been looking good lately. 5 straight games of hitting this line or higher. He's got that game against Philly where he went for 23 rebounds and assists. So that's what I'm going to pivot to. That's what I would be doing is just pivoting right over to the rebounds and assists, because the assists allowed, they were at 10th. Boston is at 10th in the league for assists allowed to power forwards. But they're even more middle of the road when it comes to rebounds, at 13th for rebounds allowed. So that's what I think we should pivot to, is just straight over to rebounds and assists on Siakam. So yeah, guys, those are the 5 we're going to be rolling with for today. If you want to check out our Discord, there's a link in the description of the video. This is a perfect example of Discord being able to jump on this play. And we're not trying to say we never want to be one of those channels that's like, well, you'd get the real value in our Discord. It's like, no, really, it's just a fun community over there. We have a lot of fun. We're like always, it's just constantly talking all day with all these people, finding good plays together as a community. So if you want to check that out, it's like 50 cents a day. Just click the link in the description of the video, go to server subscriptions, and just subscribe, and then it'll unlock all the channels for you if you want to check that out. But that's going to do it for us, guys. We hope you have a great Tuesday. Enjoy these 5 games. We've said it before, but we actually enjoy sometimes when it's a smaller slate like this and you don't have like 12 games you're bouncing between. You can kind of just like relax and focus in on these games and focus in on the plays you want to be making. So we hope you guys have a great Tuesday, and we will catch you in the next video.
Good luck, guys.